about spirituality again. This has to do with how living and death works, how the afterlife works, and how the living works. Now, there's a mechanism that's going on. It's a two-part mechanism that together make one mechanism. And what's happening is that um, the reason why life keeps going is because of this very mechanism. The reason why there's people keep on being born all the time, why there's more births than there are deaths. For every death, there's like three births. I read online or something like that. Three babies are born for every one death or something like that. That's pretty crazy. Now the thing is though is that the reason why this happens is because it's a very specific thing that the afterlife constructed, so that we can make sure to always continue living for a very long time. Now the thing is though is that it's like this is very simple. The first part is the afterlife makes sure that whenever you have sex, you're going to have a baby. Now, what does baby do? What does babies do for you? Babies give you hope, happiness, and joy, and peace, and all this stuff, and a sense of a better future, you know. And if you don't, and if you have a baby, and if you have sex and you don't have a baby, and your wife doesn't get pregnant with no baby, or the babies are stillborn, what does that cause? Sadness, worry, confusion, anger. And so that right there is why life keeps going. The afterlife, everybody in afterlife knows what's going on. But when you come and live, you know the rules. But when you come and live, you completely forget everything. You're in an amnesia mode, and you're constantly, confused and all this stuff, learning about yourself and life. And so you forget about um this little mechanism. You forget about the fact that you have sex and you have a child, so that the spirit can come into the body and be born again like a portal. So you have so what's going on is that let's say for instance that you have sex with a woman, you love her and all this stuff, and then 9 months later you expect to have a child, and instead you don't have one. What does that cause? Sadness. It causes anger. And imagine this on a global scale. Imagine if lots of people are having kids and they didn't have no, and 9 months later their babies were dead or they weren't coming. That would cause a lot of sadness. And so what happens is that it's like it's like a trainer. For example, a trainer gives his little like I would say like pet um hamster to do a trick. And every time the hamster pulls a backflip, he trains the hamster to do a backflip. And every time he does it, he expects the trainer to give him a treat. And if the hamster does the trick and he doesn't get the treat, the hamster becomes sad. So that right there is the whole mechanism. It's the two parts. You have the hamster that expects some enjoyment from the action, and unknowingly we expect the trainer, the afterlife, the big head honchos, to give us the to pull through and give us the treat, to give us the satisfaction. Yes, I'm having a child. Life is worth living. I'm going forward. That's what it is. And so there's two mechanisms that together become one and creates life, continues life. And so that's what it is. Is that the hamster, we're the hamster expecting to do this activity, the backflip, or to have sex, and then we expect to get the adulation, the treat of life and pleasure of having a child, when the afterlife gives us the treat, which is the baby. And if we don't get that, then we get upset and we're sad. And so what happens when the hamster doesn't get the treats? He gets sad. And then what does the afterlife, the trainer, think to himself? Oh, well, you know what? Here you go. There you go. You got your treat now. Are you happy now? And so that right there, it's a very hard thing to articulate. But what's going on is that before you come and live, you know the rules. But then as soon as you come into the body, you completely forget about this mechanism. So when something doesn't go right and you don't have your baby, all of a sudden you're sad. And then the whole world is falling apart. And so in order for your world to keep on going, the afterlife needs to give you the treats, but you forgot how the mechanism works. So you're completely complaining and whining and being angry and cursing God. But since you came and lived, your brain is clean, swiped clean. And so, in order for God to appease you, He has to give you what you want. Well, the next time you have sex, you're gonna have a child now. Everything is a-okay. We're gonna keep things going. Life's gonna keep going. So therein goes the mechanism. It's a very hard thing to articulate, to kind of explain, but that's what's going on. Is that we're like the hamster. We're like for example, not to put nobody down, but we're like the hamster. We're waiting for something to happen, and when we do that thing, we expect something in return, the child. And when we don't get it, the whole world falls apart. Not knowing that that's exactly the game, that's exactly the function of the whole thing, that's exactly how it's supposed to work. When you have sex, you're expecting to have a child so that life can go forward and the spirits can enter the bodies to keep living in new bodies. And if you're not satisfied and you don't get what you want, all of a sudden the mechanism feels broken. So therein closes the whole thing, is that they're always expecting you to have a child. You're always expecting to expect something back from what you do. And so if you become sad, they don't want you to be sad, because you're in a body that's, you're not yourself. You're not energy no more. You're a different thing. And so if you keep complaining, you keep whining, that's not going to make the world happy. So the afterlife has to appease you and give you what you want, the baby, the baby, the baby. So there's kind of like two completely separate concepts and two completely separate things working together unknowingly. One side is unknowingly allowing the other to work, and for the whole world to continue, the afterlife and the living and dying to continue to work. We're unknowingly, because we're alive, continuing and allowing one cog to connect to the other cog so that everything could work functionally, so that the mechanism, the motor can keep going. But one cog doesn't know that it's helping the other cog, but at the same time, you're working together to make things go. If that makes sense. So that's why life keeps going, and that's why we keep having troubles and problems, because it's our fault. The spirits are looking for problems and challenges. It's a never-ending thing. We're gonna keep living and dying. So it's up to you when you die or now to be smart and be like, you know what? I'm not gonna have a child. I'm content. I'm gonna die alone. I'm gonna go in the afterlife, and when I go in the afterlife, I'm not gonna come back. I know everything I need to know. So that's the way everything is. It's a hard thing to articulate, but that's how it functions. Sorry the video is kind of long, but hope you guys watched the whole video. So that's how it all works. We're unknowingly, one side is unknowingly helping the other side rotate and turn and keep life and death going. It's kind of a weird thing, but that's how it is. And so there you go, guys. Watch my spirit videos, my playlist, and learn telekinesis and all stuff. So take care. Just want to keep you educated.